Hey guys, we're going to be going back to the Dark Wicked Dragon for another score. Now that the fight's been out for a bit, we got kind of ambushed by the fight being released unexpectedly early, and I didn't have anything prepared for it. Now that I've sat down and really troubleshooted my team, we're going to be scoring higher on the dragon. In theory, this team can perfect score if everyone rolls basically near perfect variance. That is unlikely, but we're definitely going to do way better than I did on my first run, where I really just rushed into it right when the servers came up because, we didn't expect this boss today. We expected it on Saturday, so I didn't have a team ready. But now I do. Anyway, so this is going to be the party we use. So Orange is going to guard on turn 1 because he can't chain. We're going to use Laura's Shifted LB to stack it up, as I learned. That's kind of critical if she's going to be dealing some damage. We're going to use Titus to triple Stardust Ray. We're going to get the chain count score out of the way on turn 1. Triple Stardust Ray with Esther. Nicole is going to single cast Gusty Attack, which is a Stardust Ray. You can get that from a materia from a trial. And then Roberta is going to triple. We're going to double Mystic, and we're going to Draconic Triune to refill Lara Croft. So we're going to go ahead and chain these guys up. That'll be the 100 count chain score. We are having Nicole passive evade provoke with water immunity. There we go, 100 count chain score done. Now some single target attacks on Nicole, not a big deal. With the Magnus from Roberta, we got Laura's LB again. I'm going to go ahead and stack it up a second time. She's now maxed out. Esther is going to do her base form LB to put that field up. We're not going to use Nicole's field at all. We're going to just use Esther's field. We're going to go ahead and use the base form LB of Auron. That's for the Wind Imperil that we need. Now we can do Roberta's base form LB for the Imperil and the LB buff. Titus can do Blitz Mania. This is a 100% water resist buff for the party. And we want that from him and not Nicole, because we don't want to imbue the party with water just yet, because that would deal too much damage to the boss. And we'll just Rallying Cry with Nicole to help refill LB gauge a little bit. So here's an AoE physical water attack. We're immune because of the Blitz Mania, so that's not a problem. Now turn 3 is going to look kind of weird on my turn chart. I could technically condense this clear and reduce it to a 5-turn clear by skipping turn 3 basically and going straight into the turn 4. It could be done, but in order to make it less stressful, no RNG on crystal drops, we're just going to shift Laura on this turn and refill her, and we'll extend the clear by 1 turn. We're going to guard the front row. We're going to have Esther just Stardust Ray once, and we're going to use Nicole to shift this turn and do Enhancing Stance to refill LB gauge for the party. Yeah, so like I could have refilled Laura with like a little bit of RNG luck and Enhancing Stance and skipped it and basically shortened the clear by a turn, but I don't feel like the stress of having to worry about maybe missing a crystal drop. Anyway, turn 4, back to the shift form with Laura, where we're going to Volatile. We're going to LB, the shifted LB with Nicole for the 45% water amp. Auron is going to Magnus for the wind amp. We can just guard Titus. We're going to shift Roberta. And we're going to do Setup. We're going to Dragon Killer. We're going to aim for the jump, and we're going to Emissary for the boost. We're going to shift Esther and Jade Moon Pendant this turn. This is a poison immunity buff, and she's wearing it in the shift form. If the boss does poison this turn, and we're not wearing immunity, this is an easy way to get around that if you happen to own it. If not, you got to give your team poison immunity. Or you got to cure your party, either or, whatever. We're doing Jade Moon. Alright, back to the base form with Esther, where we're going to Calm Before the Storm. Laura, back to the base form, where we're going to normal attack twice. Titus is going to Gallant Spirit. Auron's going to Typhus' Spirit. If you've got 2 copies of Typhus' Spirit, that works as well. Nicole is now going to imbue the party with water, True Water Infusion, and double Flood. Make sure it's a +3 Flood for the good Imperil. Wait for all this to finish, and then we're going to jump Roberta with Crimson Dive. Okay, and we're going to kill on turn 6. Like I said, it could be a turn 5 clear, but there's really no rush on this fight. You can take as long as you want. Just don't push the boss below 50. So Auron's going to SLB, Titus is going to SLB, Laura is going to shift and LB, base LB Esther, and Nicole will single wield Lightning Bolt Barrage. Okay, so the timing, we're using Esther's field all the way, so the timing is not really that big a deal. Just make sure everyone gets fully chain capped, which means Auron goes first, he's very, very slow. Titus goes a moment later, he's also slow. Then we're going to chain Esther and Nicole. Then we're going to wait just a moment and then send Lara Croft after those two. That way we get Lara Croft properly capped. And then Roberta will drop on that chain. And that should be a 64 count chain if you did it correctly. Now, I'm going to run it a few times for some variants. Perfect, flawless variants are really close to it. I could get a 20 billion in perfect score. It's very unlikely. It is very, very unlikely. That would require everyone to perfect roll. It's not going to happen. But we can still score decently. I'll be right back when one of those high rolls happens. Alright, guys. Trying that variance again. Seeing if we can get a better score. Alright, see what we did. 18.9. I'm gonna keep it. Yep, so that was a good roll. And again, if everyone rolled perfectly, we could have gotten a damage cap. Man, we're a billion away. That's 19 billion. Alright, this is gonna make me cry. Who rolled low? Who ruined the party? I've calculated my damage per unit, what my range is. Okay, so Roberta can do between 2.9 to 4.4. She did 3.5. That's a tiny bit below average. Average is 3.6. So Roberta, you're missing a potential 900 million. You could have carried it. Auron does between 3 to 5, just 3 to 5. Average of 4. You're above average. You pulled your weight. Titus did 2.5 out of, I'm sorry, he did 3.9 out of a range of 2.5 to 4.1. He did almost perfect. Titus, you're awesome. Esther has a range of 3 to 5, basically. She did 4.5. Again, above average, just like Auron. And then Laura has a range of 1.6 to 2.7. She rolled almost perfect. So we got almost perfect on Titus and Laura, above average on Esther and Auron, and Roberta is missing a cool billion damage. Oh, Roberta, you're off the team. You're done. You're done. You're benched. No, I'm kidding. Roberta's kind of important here. Anyway, yeah. So with variance, I can do it. I'm probably gonna give up on this guy because we can't perfect score anyway. So I'm going to move my attention to the bird boss at this point. So 19 out of 20 is close enough for me. So, yeah, I'll show the gear. Let's see. Alright, so the gear and the party, etc., etc. So we're doing a water party. It's water or wind. The boss is a dragon, low defense. So Roberta is, as long as no one's in the negative for water resist, we're fine because we use 100% water resist from Titus. And we're using Jade Moon for the status immunity, but if you're not using Jade Moon, you need poison immunity on turn 4. So base form, Roberta is just using a little bit of Esper fill so that we can do the LB fill with Nicole. Shift form, jump damage, spear build versus dragons. Very easy for Roberta to do. So 7,700 attack, maxed and maxed. And yep. And then she doesn't need the chain cap up because she's dual wielding. Legendary Guardian Auron, 8,000 attack power. Dragon Killer. I gave him my Tyvus' Spirit because, premium, he scales better. And he's using his own card. Maxed and maxed Dragon. He did up to 5 billion. Star player Titus is using a Great Sword, the President's livery for the modifier boost. A lot of killers. He gears pretty easily. 8,000 attack. I gave him the Knight's card because I've only got obviously one copy of Auron's. So he's kind of overcapped on LB damage just a little bit, but he needed that for the flat attack. Max Dragon Killer. Esther is using the double hand card, 7,800 attack power. LB damage versus dragons, and I gave her Prodigious Performer so she can build her chain a little bit quicker. That's optional. If you don't have that, not that big a deal, but every little spec helps because she is the chain builder. Maxed and dragon is maxed. Nicole is our passive provoker evader. He does need 100% water resist even in the base form, or in all forms, which is very easy for Nicole. Charm immunity is important, and passive provoke evasion. I don't even know if evasion is required, to be honest here, because I think the boss is pure water damage, but in case, I went evasion. And then I gave him some dark resist in case we accidentally pushed phase 2, because phase 2 he does dark damage, but we never did, so dark damage is not important. Super Ribbon for charm immunity. Make sure he is not dual wielding, because we're using his chaining with Esther. We don't want to be dual wielding. Shift form, identical. Oh yeah, and Gusty Attack. Gusty Attack, even though it doesn't say it, it is Stardust Ray framing, so we did that for chaining on turn 1. And then Lara Croft, base form, dual wielding, some Esper, some LB fill. That's in case you want to try to like force it quicker and do like a quicker turn clear, but I didn't stress out about that. Shift form, greatsword build because weapon imperils, dragon killer, and there we go. LB damage, her own card. 300 LB, 300 dragon. So she is maxed at everything except for attack power. We're missing 30% attack power because, like a dummy, I item rolled into my greatsword for like, oh, Kalk doesn't need that, so we'll just give it pure bulk. Regrets. I have regrets. Always go attack power on your weapons. Don't go bulk because this happens, and we're stuck at 370 out of 400 attack power. Yep. Lesson learned, never go bulk on physical weapons. My bad. Won't happen again. Yeah, so there's a 19 out of 20 on the dragon. If I wanted to sit there and roll variants for the next 4 days, I could perfect score it, but I'm not going to. There it is. See you in a bit.